I am sitting here. I've had a lot of conversations with some people this week, and I've been reflecting on, what's the common theme that I'm hearing from the women that have been showing up and participating and sharing themselves. And I did a chakra class on Sunday, and I got to really hear from quite a few women in the sense of what's blocking them, what are the things that are happening with them. And so one of the common themes is low confidence and not having the confidence to move forward in your life, not having the confidence in your decisions and all of that. So I'm like, wow, what does all this mean? Where does this come from? And how do you move forward? And I think a lot of people get stuck in the process of um, willing their way to move forward, willing their way to, make things happen. And, what happens when you will your way is your conscious is actually, um, your conscious is actually doing the work. And when you're willing and the conscious mind is doing the work, it takes effort. It takes a lot of energy. It takes like a pushing. And so what happens is when we're willing our way into doing something, we are not truly tuned into the subconscious and not really tuned into what are the thoughts that are in the subconscious mind. And so one of the things that's so important when you're looking at moving forward and living a life of trust is a couple things. The first thing is about following through on your word, right? Following through on what you say you're going to do. There's something that happens when you make a commitment to yourself. You make a commitment and you don't follow through. You actually stop yourself from trusting yourself. So how many times have you said, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this," and you don't, and you literally don't take your word seriously, and you don't accomplish what you're going to do, and it's not your fault. Right? What happens is, I said, the subconscious mind actually runs the activity. So if you haven't done work to reprogram the subconscious, now is your time to do that. Now it's your realization is that you get to work in the subconscious mind so that you can actually begin to make change easier and effortlessly. And so when you make a commitment, when you say you're going to do something, I'll give you an example. For the month of January, I said I was going to walk 100 miles this month. I've done it in the past many months before, and it has been easy, effortless. This year, it's been super challenging to get myself to do the walks. So we're coming down to the end of the month, and I believe I have like 26 miles left to go, which means I get to walk over 6 miles a day to keep my commitment. And if I don't, so through the month, I was sabotaging myself. Oh, I don't have to. I can change my commitment. I can do something different. So the ego mind will say, no, try to talk you out of things that you were inspired to do. That thought of walking inspired me. And then, your ego will start to talk you out of things. So I don't have the time to walk. I don't have the energy to walk. It's too cold out. Well, where I live, it's too cold out. Walking gets boring. Like, you start to tell yourself all these things. And when you do that, that's because you aren't tuned into what you really want. And so when this was happening, it was just like, well, what made me make that commitment? I wanted some consistency with my workouts. I wanted to be held accountable. I wanted to strive for things. So as I stepped back into the vision of what I said I was going to do, I was re-inspired. I was like, yes, let's go do this. And so when January 31st comes and I hit my 100 miles because I stayed connected to what I wanted, I didn't let the fears or all the ego-based stuff talk me out of it. I stayed connected. I completed. The subconscious mind cheers you on. It's like, yes, you did it. What else do you want to complete in your life? Because I'll help you. I see you moving in that direction. I got you. Right. But when you start to make a commitment and then you start to talk yourself out of it, you start not to listen to that inspiration gets quieter and quieter and quieter. And so you want to actually start to listen. Whatever it is that you're guided to, follow through. And I will tell you this, the things that you are guided to aren't always easy decisions. They aren't always like, oh, yeah, of course. It's sometimes they're really big decisions. But the moment you say yes and you follow through on that, you change the patterns of the past. Because in the past, you didn't listen. In the past, you didn't follow through. So you literally begin to change the patterns, change the connections in your mind, and you begin to recognize how powerful you are, how you get to create things. And you start to build that muscle to move forward. So, that's what you get to do is keep your word, listen to your intuition. And the other thing that I want to share about trusting is getting into a place daily of quiet receiving. Right? I didn't get that inspiration to walk because I just thought that was the best thing to do for January, right? I got quiet, I tuned in. What did my body want? What was I craving? What was I desiring at that moment? And that's where I set that goal. That's why I set that commitment for myself. What are you desiring right now? What's the commitment you get to hold for yourself to hold you accountable in the next 30 days? You get to take time to figure that out. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't do what other people say because that doesn't do anything for your trust, right? Actually, it does the exact opposite. You get to step into your power and what you want and trust yourself. And then you get to implement. You get to take committed action until it's complete. Because once you complete it, it's like, woohoo! All right, I did it. What else can I do now? Right? So you get to make that happen for yourself. And I have some really exciting news coming. I have an event for you this coming Saturday that will give you an opportunity to work on your subconscious, to work on some reprogramming so that you can begin to build trust. You can begin to move forward in your life. So be on the lookout for that awesome event coming up. That's all I have for you today. Drop down below what your takeaway is. What did you take away from this conversation? I would love to hear, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.